Welcome to the 2 Hour Track Challenge premiere for September 26, 2019. Every week I try to find a couple hours to make a silly little piece of music, see what I can achieve in the time limit of 2 hours, and it's also my chance to experiment and make something stupid or whatnot. But sometimes it does come out with a cool result, so I like to share it with the world a couple weeks later. First on this premiere live on Twitch, and then I'll make up a quick video so that I can share the world with the rest of the song. Share the song with the rest of the world on Saturday on YouTube. So that said, why don't we just start by listening to this track from September 26th. Right. So, that one, not really much of a backstory on that one. It's really just I needed, since I do this every week, sometimes I just take some sort of basic idea and just run with it. In this instance, it was just sort of an idea of I wanted to play with my guitars and my electric bass again because it's been a while since I did anything rocky. I've been sort of leaning towards strange electronic stuff lately. But I guess the other part of the story on this one was uh, that I had actually just caught a cold or something, so I was feeling really stuffed up the day that I did this. Um, so that's actually where this idea came from to start off the song with this harp. Is just kind of like the idea of the snot running down a nose or whatnot. Sounds gross when I say it like that. But yeah, I decided to start off the song with that, um, and then go from there and just launch into a rock song. Um, it also does have this wind chimes at the beginning. And that's let's put that in there to show the placement. And that wind chimes is I use a few of these, and it's just one of Ben Burns' sample packs, the wind chime sample pack, which I think it's still his newest pack, and I decided it's been a while since I've used this, so I should find a way to use it again. So that's what I did. Found a way to throw it in. At this point, it really just fades in because it's the beginning of the song. I don't like starting my songs too suddenly all the time. So it just sort of fades in with this nice little chime. It's actually a strike that's just bouncing back and forth, and then eventually the harp as well. And the timing of the harp is actually it's a little bit delayed, not just because I wanted to have a little bit of wind chime sound to the before the harp starts. That just kind of happened. The original reason that's so far ahead is because I wanted this last note to be at the first note of the bass and the guitar, and the drums. And then I wanted this whole thing, and I wanted it to be that length. Or sorry, this whole thing, and I wanted it to be that length. But it needed to end right at the end of a bar. So the only way I could do that, why am I fold? The only way I could do that is to start it at the end of the first bar. And then it was just too silent, so that's kind of why I put that the wind chime thing at the beginning as well. I am realizing that no sound is coming through. There we go. That's working a bit better. Showing you all these things and you can't even hear what I'm showing you. So yeah, wind chime, a little bit of fade in, harp, and then rock section. That's I already explained all that, but now you have it with audio. So to start off, this first bar of introducing the rock, it has that last note of the harp, that one there. It has in very synchronous rhythm. There's some drums. This is Easy Drummer 2, like usual. For my organic drums, and it's just it's a kick drum, that tom, and that cymbal all at the same time. And doing this little rhythm. And then it goes into the stuff that I grab from Song Creator and Search and whatnot. That's placed in here instead. And then that is layered with, I can close that now, with electric bass. Let me turn that up a little bit. Oops. That's not what I wanted. I'm also realizing that I had trouble hearing things because my volume was turned down there, so that's... Oop, wrong one. That's fixed now. So we got electric bass. And then also electric guitar. Just doing a power chord, I think it was. And I called that rough electric guitar because I knew I already had this idea. I had the idea before starting to have this this synchronized rhythm. Oops. Of these three things for the intro. And then have some sort of a cleaner electric guitar as well. This isn't quite as I had originally imagined it, but you know, it never ends up like that. That was just kind of a starting point in my head, and I ended up doing just holding a chord for 4 bars, and then holding a chord for 2 bars. Because actually I recorded the electric bass first. And I just picked the chords that I wanted this to go in. Where are my drums? There we are. So it's just kind of going based on the chorus, verse, pre-chorus, chorus pattern. But yeah, I picked where I wanted that bass line to go, and it's a pretty simple bass line. Nothing too crazy. It's just the bass of each chord, what chord belongs in that spot. So when I went to do the electric guitar, I could easily go through here and just remember, to remember that, you know, I played G for a while, and then eventually I switched to D, and then probably C. Yep, I called it. I know myself too well. And then kind of went to that E thing. So yeah, then I went through the electric guitar. This electric guitar has gone through this preset called Crunchy 800, I guess. I don't know, I just pick random things in here sometimes from Guitar Rig. So it sounds like that. And it's just holding the G for those 4 bars that the bass was doing G, and then holding the D, then holding the C, Nobody clicked that. Hold in an E. Hold in whatever it does next. The bridge, it took a little bit of a different path, but um, we'll get to that in a minute. And then there's also still a little bit of jangling wind chimes. And as well, this cleaner electric guitar thing, which I totally cheated on this thing. Time limits and all. And I suck at guitar. So this is clean chorus preset from Guitar Rig. Sounds a bit more like this. And I just kind of, I grabbed the chord and just went up and down, found a pattern that sounds nice. And I played it chord by chord here. So this is G times 2. It actually does a little bit of a different picking pattern at the end. This is D times 1, so it's just one time over the D, down and up. One time over the C, down and up. The E has a little bit of E7 in there. But, like I said, I cheated because I didn't have faith that I could actually make those chords in time and actually play that real time. So I just played a chord at a time, or a chord section at a time, and then recorded a different one. Recorded all these, and then I needed a G times 2 again, so I just copied that over here. Actually, I copied this whole section here. Yeah. And then the second half of this, back to the wind chime track. This here is a jangle sample in reverse. And while making this song, I kept thinking, this sounds like a Life is Strange sound effect. Especially right at the end here. Does it not? Yeah, so the bells cut out at the bridge. They come back in for the last chorus. It's just the jangle 2 in forward. And the bass line is still going on the same take as before. The electric guitar I had to cut out and redo because I screwed something up. But for the bridge here, let me see what I did with the bass. Oh, fucked up for one. The bass is still pretty simple until the end. It's very stabby at the end, and the rough electric guitar I did similar thing with the stabby at the end. But for the most part, I actually did a little bit more steady of a strumming in this one, in the bridge here. And then, of course, stabby chords here. And then back to the held notes here. And the bridge in the bridge. The bridge in the bridge. The cleaner electric guitar in the bridge is just a nice little strum and a held note. And then for the other chord as well. That wasn't a nice little strum, though. That was a very rushed strum. Yeah. Other bridge. Other chorus. Or verse, or whatever everybody want to call it. And then the ending, of course. So yeah, for the ending, I held the bass note and then just kind of slapped the string. Just make it stop rather roughly. The electric guitar just kind of smacked a chord at the end. The cleaner electric guitar had a little picking frenzy that I couldn't figure out what exactly I wanted to do, but I'd pick something that kind of sounded good, and it ends with a strum like that. And the wind chimes go on and on. This song actually ends. There's still a cymbal ringing out there too. There's quite a bit of a lead out in this song. So once those last notes hit here, there's still quite a bit of ringing out of the wind chimes. Mostly a little bit of the cymbal, but mostly the wind chimes. It's just ringing out, and then eventually the master. As usual, the gain just cuts out on this one. instead of fading out like I usually do. Yep. Live. There we go. So yeah, it just cuts out, and then the song ends. I don't remember doing any other automation, but I'm just gonna check here. Yeah, no other automation in this track. So basically, that covers all of how I made the track. Um, and I like to cover that just because it's I like to do these in my own time, but it's still like the idea of showing how things are done, especially when I get really experimental and do something cool. I just like to have a way to look back at um, how I did these cool things. Um, so that's why I record this show. Um, but I also like to get some help with some titles. If there's anybody that has an idea for a title of this track, let me play it again. Maybe a little bit quieter than that. Yeah, if anybody has any ideas for a title, please let me know. Right now, I don't exactly have any solid ideas. Yeah, I don't have any ideas written down. But I was just kind of thinking there, since I made that comment about Life is Strange and the Bells, I also did this right after work, so I tend to do robotic themed titles for that. Life is Robot. Life is a Runny Robot. Life is a Runny Robot. I think I like that. I'm gonna drop that in here before this ends because it just makes it a little bit easier. Life is a Runny Robot. Drop that in here. Life is a Runny Robot. Export that. This is the 26th of September. Export. Save. And then that gives me the ability to make a video using this script here, although I gotta fix the date. Replace all. There we go. So I'll just drop that into command prompt. That didn't work. Maybe if I continue looking at things. I also did a 2-hour track challenge. Since I do it every week, the next one I did was on October 4th, 2019. And that is definitely one of my favorite things that I've done in a while. It's a rock song. It's lyrical. It's comedic. I actually had a guest in the studio that day. And yeah, like I said, I'm really happy with that one, so I can't wait to share it with the world because it's pretty funny. It's been getting stuck in my head at some point every day. So I'll premiere that on Twitch October 16th, 2019 at twitch.tv/ADDF_toxic. Hope to see you there.